Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ. In the previous videos, we have seen the properties and we have seen some of the questions and patterns which are related to area. Now we'll continue the same in this session also. So let me start off with a very simple question again. So this was asked in 1996. Take a minute and solve this question. Now you don't want 1 minute, you just need 5 seconds to solve this question. We have already discussed this as a property. So how will you solve? What is given? AC is given as 6. So what is this length? This will be 3. It will be half of the hypotenuse, right? What is this hypotenuse? See, keeping the center, keeping D, that midpoint, as the center, and if you draw a circle, what will happen? That circle will touch all the 3 points. It is actually a circumcircle. Okay, so what is this BD? BD is nothing but the radius. So this AD is also the radius and DC is also the radius. So diameter is given as 6. What is radius? Radius is equal to 3. So what is the property? In a right angle triangle, the length median to the hypotenuse will be half of the hypotenuse. So length median to the hypotenuse will be half of the hypotenuse. That is the property. Otherwise, you can think of a circumcircle. And see why it is. Now you can think in this way also. See, if you draw, just keep this as a circle. Okay. Now imagine this is the hypotenuse. This is the hypotenuse, right? So if you draw any triangle, it has to be 90 degree if it is touching the circle, right? That is a property that we have learned. Why this is 90 degree? Because this is a diameter and this is lying on the circle. So if you need to keep this as the diameter and touching this point means this has to be the radius. So this length is the diameter. So diameter is given, so radius finding it is very, very easy for you. Now you can solve this question. It looks difficult, but let's see how you're going to solve it. Now how will you proceed? So how will you visualize the triangle first? We need to see the triangle, right? So this is 10 and this is the longest side 20. The longest side has a length 20. Another side is 10 and area is given. So area is given as 80. What is the length of the third side? Let me mark it as x. What is this x? This length is what they're asking. Now how will you find it? See, you know two sides, you know area, right? You know many equations for finding area. So the moment you see this area and two sides, you may think of many other formulas and equating it with area and you can get one side. That is one method. But I am not interested in solving in that method. There is no fun in doing in that way, right? Because anyway, I'm sure that it is going to take a lot of time and it is not worth attempting this question in that way. So what is the alternate way? See, what you can do is you just drop a perpendicular like this. Then what is this? This is height, right? And what is the area? Area is equal to half into base into height. Base is 20 and height is not given. We need to find it, which is equal to 80. So from this you can get h is equal to 8. Okay. Now you have reduced this question to this level. This is 8. Okay. This is what you need to find out. So some extension, this total is 20. So the idea is, if you know this length, you can use the Pythagoras theorem and you can find this x, right? Now how will you find that length? For that, we know this is 10. So we know this is 10, this is 8, and we know this is a right angle triangle. So what is this going to be? 10 square minus 8 square. So this is going to be 6. Okay. So if that is 6, what is this? This is 14 because the total is 20. Now then what is this side? That's easy, right? 14 square plus 8 square. So 196 plus 64. What is the answer? Root of 260. So you'll get 260. So you take root of it to get this side. So I hope this is clear. See, basically nobody will think in this way to drop a perpendicular. The moment you see this question, if you can drop a perpendicular and you can solve this in this way, this is going to be easiest question. Otherwise, you'll take a lot of time. Obviously, you'll get the answer, but you'll take a lot of time. Why you get the answer? Because you know the formula, and if you substitute values and if you are fast in calculation, you can do this. Otherwise, it's not worth attempting. But if you solve in this way, this is the easiest, right? See what I've done? I'm just quickly explaining it again. See, this is a question. Okay, this longest side I have taken as 20. This is 10. This is not given, so that's what we need to find out. Area is given as 80. So you can use formulas and find the side, but that is taking time. What I've done is I dropped a perpendicular. So this is height. So I know this 20 into height, if you take half of it, you'll get the area. So half into height into base is equal to 80. So h I got 8. So this I got 8. And we know this is a right angle triangle. So one side is 10, other side is 8. So I got this as 6. So if this is 6, I got this as 14. Now this is 14 and this is 8. So I can get this side just by using Pythagoras theorem. And that's how I got the answer faster. So if you get triangle questions, just think of this possibility. So 4 lines which you can use in a triangle are, we have already discussed it, median, altitude, perpendicular bisector and angle bisector, right? So always be in a position to use these 4 lines if you are getting a triangle. We have discussed in the first part of this video, right? Median, altitude, perpendicular bisector and angle bisector. So I have explained about this in detail in the first session. Now one very difficult question which I have seen in a previous paper. See, a triangle, it's actually a right angle triangle and altitude, okay? So let me mark it as A, B, C, and there are 2 incircles like this and like this, not equal because the triangle size are different. So there are 2 incircles, so obviously 2 radius, okay? So in circle, that is what I mean by in radius, right? So R1 and R2 are the 2 in radius of the 2 circles which are there in the triangle. This length is given as 15 and 20 and 25. See, if you see a right angle triangle question, you can predict the values of the sides. Mostly you will get 20, 15 and 25 because these values will actually help you to make another right angle triangle by dropping an altitude. So here you are getting another right angle triangle. We'll see that, okay? So 50, I'll tell you the possibility of all the right angle triangles. So 15, 20 and 25. R1, R2. Now what you need to do is, in this question you need to find R1 plus R2. I hope you understood the question. A triangle, which is a right angle triangle ABC, altitude. So let me mark it as BD is the altitude. So 2 triangles you got. Now these 2 are also right angle triangle. I'll show you how, okay? Then there are 2 in circles in each triangle. So R1 and R2 are the in radius of the respective in circles. Find the sum of the radius. R1 plus R2 is what you need to find out. How will you proceed? Just think of it, pause the video, think of it for a moment. Now how will you solve this? So firstly, can you find this height? Can you find this height? Same method you can use. See, in the previous case I have given you the area, then based on this base I can find the height. But here I have not given you the area, but I can find the area if you consider this as the base and this as the height. So basically half into 20 into 15 is equal to half into 25 into h. So what is h here? H is equal to 12. So you got h is equal to 12. So the moment you got this as 12, let's take this right angle triangle in the left side. Okay, this is a right angle triangle. So 15, 12. So what will be this length? That is going to be 9. 225 minus 144. So 81 root of it will be 9. So if that is 9, this is going to be 16. Now we got 15, this side 20, then height as 12, 9 and 16. This much we understood. I hope this is clear for you. Now how can you find the in radius of the first one? See, R1 is what we need to find out. So let's take the triangle alone, okay? So ABD triangle, if you take, what is the area of that? Area is actually half into B into H. So 9 is the base and 12 is the height. So half into 9 into 12, which is equal to 54. So area is 54 by using half BH. You have an alternate method of finding the area if the in radius is known. What is that? RS. What is S? S is the semi-perimeter, right? So S is equal to all the 3 sides divided by 2. So A plus B plus C divided by 2. So what is that? S is equal to 15 plus 12 is the height plus 9 divided by 2. So what you get? 18. So you got S is equal to 18. So area is 54, which is equal to R1 into S. So S is 18 means R1 is equal to 3. So the first radius you got as 3. I hope this is clear. What we have done, very simple. See, we got the height. How we got it? Just by equating this area, right? Half into 15 into 20 we know, and we equated with this. We got height. See, after getting height, we got these two length. Then by using that, we can find the individual areas of the individual triangles, and we can equate with R1S. Now, what will be the next one? R2S, right? So what will be the area of the next triangle if you take? What is the base? 16 is the base, height is 12. So second triangle if you take, what is the area? Half into 16 into 12. So this is going to be 96. And we know that R1, R2S, if you want you can write it as S2, because that is a different triangle, right? So R2, S2 is equal to 96. What is S2? Semi-perimeter. How will you find? So three sides which are 20, 12 and 16, right? So 20 plus 12 plus 16 divided by 2, you will get it as 24. So S2 you get it as 24. So R2 into 24 is equal to 96. So what is R2? R2 is equal to 4. So we got R1 is equal to 3 and R2 is equal to 4. What is asked to find out is the sum, which is equal to 7. Very, very difficult question, but I hope you understood the method. What we have done, see, the question was a right angle triangle, altitude is there, and there are two circles inscribed in two triangles. Both are right angle triangles that we can see. That's why they have purposely selected these values. So if you are getting two right angle triangles, mostly this value you will get 15, 20 and 25. Most of the questions are based on this value, repeated questions. And what they are asked is the in radius sum. Very difficult question, but how we did it? We just got the height by equating with the area. After getting the height, we got R1 and R2 by using an alternate formula for area, that is RS. Okay, so RS is the area of the triangle if in radius and three sides are given. So we can get it from the first case and second case, and we can get R1 and R2, and we got the sum. Now, is there any shortcut for this? I'm more interested in discussing the shortcuts rather than be doing all this difficult things. But this in itself is a shortcut method. But otherwise, now onwards, if you get this question, I give you a ratio. So this question, I hope you can solve it, but it is little bit time consuming. So if you get this kind of question, you will keep it for round 2. But later, towards the end of the session, or I'll discuss it now itself. See, the moment you see triangles, right angle triangles, it's like 3, 4, 5. Okay, three sides are given, 3, 4, 5. I give you the ratios, the in radius and outer radius. Okay, so the ratio will be 1 is to 2.5 or 1 and 2.5, and this ratio will be maintained 1, 2.5. So if it is 6, 8, 10, this will be 2, 5. So here you multiplied with 2, here you multiplied with 2. So just keep this in your mind. If it is 3, 4, 5, 1 and 2.5, in radius to outer radius. So here 6, 10 and 8, so 2 and 2.5. So what about 9, 12 and 15? This you need to multiply with 3, because here it is multiplied with 3. So 3 and 7.5. So what about 12, 16, 20? Multiplying with 4. So 4 and 10. What about 15, 20, 25? Here you are multiplying with 5. So 5 and 12.5. Okay, so now onwards this ratio is enough for you. Now if you were knowing this earlier, see, if you know that 3, 4, 5 is 1 and 2.5. If you know this, what was our triangle here? 1 was here. Where is the triangle? Okay, these two are the triangles, right? 9, 12, 15 and 12, 16, 20. Now the outer triangle was this. Outer triangle given was this. Why that was given? Because there is a possibility of making two inner triangles with this value. So what you need to take is this 3 and this 4. You just add. Now onwards, that is 7 directly. If you just know this 3, 4, 5 is 1 and 2.5, what is given? 1 is 9, right? 1 was 9 and 1 was 12. So 9 means you multiply with 3. This is 3, right? So you get 3 and 12 means you multiply with 4, so this is 4, just add, you get 7, and that's your answer. So if you know things like this, you can make the questions, right? Now I can ask you about outer radius also. So see, just like by giving a right angle triangle, just let me put some random value. This is 9, so this is 12, this is 15. Okay, so let me draw some random stuff. Okay, so this is inner and this is outer. If I ask you what is the ratio between inner and outer, you know this, right? Since this is 9, 12 and 15, we know this is 3 and 7.5, or the ratio is always 1 and 2.5. Another important ratio that I have discussed in the right angle triangle with which you can solve the questions are, I told you there are two possible right angle triangles, right? So like 45, 90 and 30, 60, 90. These are the two possibilities, right? So what is the ratio of the length? It will be, if this is 1, this will be 1, so opposite sides are equal, because opposite 45 1, so opposite 45 will be 1, so here it will be root 2, again by using Pythagoras theorem only. But if you know this, now if I tell you this is 10, you can just multiply and you just 10 and you can get the answer here also. Okay, so if this is like, what about this one? Opposite of 30, that is a smaller one, that is 1. Opposite of 60 is root 3, and 90 is 2, 1 root 3 2. So if I give you like questions like this, there is a wall, okay, and a ladder is there like this, ladder is placed like this, so the length of the ladder is like 20. What will be the distance if the ladder kept like this, and the height, this height is not required anyway, if it is given then it is fine, we get the ratio, so it has to be 10. So if this is 10 and this is 20, then we know this is going to be 10 root 3. Okay, just like that you can find, if you know the ratio, this is going to be very easy for you. Just think of this question, take a moment and think of it. What is the answer? It was asked in 2001. Okay, so how can you solve this question? See what is given. A ladder leans against a vertical wall. The top of the ladder is 8 meters above the ground, right? And you can draw like this. So this is the ladder and 8 meters above the ground, the top of the ladder. That means this height is given as 8 meters. Now when the bottom of the ladder is moved 2 meters further, so this is the bottom of the ladder, if this is moved 2 meters further, what happens? The ladder will fall down and will rest on the bottom of the wall, right? So the top of the ladder rests against the foot of the wall. What they're asking is, what is the length of the ladder? So I hope you understood the story, and this is going to be very easy question. See, what is the length of the ladder? If you are stretching this bottom for 2 meters further, this is coming down and rest like this. So this is actually the length of the ladder. So out of this is actually the length of the ladder. Out of this much we know this is 2. So what is this? This is nothing but the base. So if you know the base plus 2 is actually the length of the ladder. So let's suppose base is x. Then what is the length of the ladder? That will be x plus 2. So is there any method to find x? So here we can find x by using the Pythagoras theorem, right? So this is height, this is base, and this is hypotenuse. So 8 square plus x square is equal to x plus 2 whole square. So 8 square is 64 plus x square is equal to x square plus 4x plus 4. X square and x square is getting cancelled out. Then 4x becomes 60, x is equal to 15. Now the moment you see this x is equal to 15, you may go ahead and mark this answer. But what they are asking is the length of the ladder. That is not x, that is actually x plus 2. So what is your answer? Your answer is 17. So this is what you need to mark. What you got here is x. You need to mark x plus 2 as the answer, and that is 17. I hope this is clear for all of you. Now take a moment and solve these two questions. So I will solve the first one. What are the conditions that you need to satisfy? See, if you need to have a triangle with 3 sides A, B, C, the important condition is A plus B should be greater than C. The sum of two sides must be greater than the third side. This you need to satisfy. At the same time, a plus b plus c is equal to 14, which is given. Now, satisfying these two conditions, what are the possibilities? You can get a triangle with 4, 4, 6, right? Then you can find 5, 5, 4. That is another possibility. Then you can get 6, 5, 3. Correct? Okay. Then you can get 6, 6, 2. So how many are possible? 4. 4 triangles are possible. So answer for this question is 4. I hope this is clear for you. Now, let's look at the second one. This question, how will you solve this? See, this is the method of solving this is, we know a plus b plus c whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus c square plus 2ab plus 2bc plus 2ac, which is equal to 3ab plus 3bc plus 3ac, right? Then only the condition is satisfied. Now what you can do is you can assume values for a, b and c and substitute in the equation, and then you check the options. What you'll get is a is equal to b is equal to c. So answer for this question is equilateral triangle.